Listen carefully. Every time you step into the world, you are being read. Your posture, your silence, your reactions, your discipline. Even when no one speaks, eyes are watching. Energy is exchanged. Respect is either earned or lost in moments so small you barely feel them. The world does not judge your intentions, it responds to your behavior. Master that and you master how life responds to you. Here are 9 things you must never do in public if you want strength, respect, and inner power. Never lose control of your emotions. Anger, frustration, panic. Once released publicly, they control you. A calm mind is a weapon. Silence and stillness speak louder than any outburst. 2. Never complain or seek pity. Complaints shrink your presence. They signal weakness and dependence. Strong people endure quietly and improve privately. 3. Never disrespect yourself. The way you stand, speak, and listen teaches others how to treat you. Slouching, mumbling, careless behavior, these are silent confessions of low standards. 4. Never seek validation. Approval is addictive and expensive. The moment you need others to confirm your worth, you give away your power. 5. Never gossip or speak ill of others. Words reveal character. When you lower others, you lower yourself. Discipline your speech, it shapes your destiny. 6. Never rush or move without purpose. Chaos in movement reflects chaos in the mind. Walk with intention. Act with clarity. Stillness creates authority. 7. Never display arrogance or false dominance. True strength does not announce itself. Humility is not weakness, it is control refined. 8. Never neglect awareness of your surroundings. A distracted mind is vulnerable. Presence keeps you safe, sharp, and respected. 9. Never betray your values for convenience. Integrity is built when no one is watching but revealed in public. Once broken, it is rarely restored. Understand this. People notice more than you think, but more importantly, you notice yourself. Every action either builds or erodes the person you are becoming. So here is your call to action. From today onward, move with discipline, speak with intention, carry yourself as someone who respects their own path. Train your mind before the world tests it. When pressure comes, stand firm. When temptation appears, stay aligned. Be the calm in the noise, be the strength in the crowd, and never forget how you act in public is how life decides who you are. Emotional control is the first and most important discipline you must master, because the moment you lose it, you lose yourself. In public, emotions are amplified. Anger becomes intimidation, fear becomes weakness, frustration becomes instability. What you feel internally may be justified, but the world does not respond to justification, it responds to behavior. When emotions spill out unchecked, they expose your inner state to everyone around you, and once exposed, they can be used against you. A person who cannot control their emotions is predictable, and what is predictable is easily manipulated. Understand this deeply. Emotions are energy. When unmanaged, they leak. When mastered, they become strength. Public emotional outbursts do not make you authentic. They make you vulnerable. Shouting does not make you powerful. Reacting does not make you brave. Losing composure does not make you real. It makes you reactive. And reactive people are always one step behind life. The disciplined individual observes first, breathes first, and responds only when the mind is clear. That pause, small and silent, is the difference between control and regret. Anger especially is seductive. It feels powerful in the moment, but it leaves destruction behind it. In public, anger does not intimidate strong people, it signals lack of mastery. Those who truly carry strength remain calm under pressure. They do not need to raise their voice to be heard. Their presence alone sets boundaries. When revoked, they do not rush to defend their ego. They let silence speak, because silence forces others to confront their own instability. Fear is just as revealing. Nervous gestures, rushed speech, avoiding eye contact. These are signals, not of danger, but of uncertainty within. Public spaces test your nervous system. If your emotions control your body will betray your mind. Training emotional control means training your breath, your posture, and your awareness. Slow breathing calms the mind. Upright posture reinforces confidence. Awareness anchors you in the present, instead of letting thoughts spiral. Frustration is another silent destroyer. When things do not go your way, your reaction becomes your reputation. Do you become impatient? Do you blame others? Do you show irritation? Every one of these responses tells people how much pressure you can handle before you break. Life watches this closely. Opportunities are not given to those who collapse under inconvenience. They are given to those who remain steady when conditions are imperfect. Emotional control does not mean suppression, it means direction. You feel the emotion fully, but you decide where it goes. Instead of exploding outward, you channel it inward for reflection, correction, and growth. You turn anger into focus, fear into alertness, frustration into discipline. This is internal alchemy. It is trained through discomfort, not comfort, through restraint, not expression. In public, your calm becomes your armor. While others react, you remain centered. While others seek attention through emotion, you command respect through stillness. Over time, this composure reshapes how people treat you, because humans instinctively trust those who appear unshaken. Emotional mastery is not about appearing cold, it is about being unmovable. Complaining in public weakens your presence more than you realize. The moment you voice dissatisfaction outwardly, you announce to everyone listening that you are focused on what is wrong instead of what can be done. This shifts your energy from responsibility to helplessness. Even if your complaint is valid, the act of expressing it publicly places you in a lower position. It tells the world that circumstances control you, that obstacles overpower your mindset, and that discomfort is something you need others to rescue you from. Seeking pity is even more damaging. Pity is not respect, and it is never strength. When you seek sympathy, you trade dignity for temporary emotional relief. People may nod, listen, and even comfort you, but internally their perception of you changes. They no longer see capability, they see fragility. And once that image forms, it is difficult to undo. Strong individuals understand that hardship is not something to display, it is something to overcome quietly. Public complaining trains the mind in the wrong direction. Every time you verbalize dissatisfaction, you reinforce a habit of focusing on lack. The brain learns respect are given to those who absorb pressure, not those who broadcast it. When challenges arise, those who remain composed and solution-oriented stand out. They become anchors in chaos. The complainer becomes background noise. Suffering in silence does not mean ignoring pain, it means choosing the right place and time for expression. Discipline teaches you to process struggle internally first. Reflection builds clarity. Clarity builds action. Public spaces are not for emotional dumping, they are for presence and purpose. When you speak, your words should carry weight. Complaints dilute that weight. Pity creates dependency. The more you rely on external validation for your struggles, the weaker your inner foundation becomes. Strength grows when you learn to sit with discomfort without advertising it. This is how resilience is built. This is how self-trust forms. When you stop seeking reassurance from others, you start developing assurance within yourself. Silence in struggle feels heavy. Calm, focused individuals attract attention naturally. Not because they speak louder, but because they radiate stability. Choosing not to complain is choosing mastery. It is a declaration that you are not defined by circumstances. You do not need pity to survive. You do not need sympathy to move forward. You carry your challenges with composure, and that composure becomes your reputation. Disrespecting yourself in public is one of the most silent yet destructive habits a person can. Sharpens awareness. Instead of complaining, you observe, you adapt, you correct, you move. This internal dialogue is far more powerful than external venting. It transforms frustration into strategy. It turns setbacks into lessons. While others seek comfort through words, you build power through action. Public complaint also drains the energy of those around you. Negativity spreads quickly. People unconsciously distance themselves from those who constantly express dissatisfaction because it develops. It rarely announces itself loudly, but it shows up in subtle ways. Poor posture, careless speech, nervous laughter, weak eye contact, and a lack of boundaries. These small signals communicate far more than words ever could. Before anyone decides how to treat you, they observe how you treat yourself. Your behavior gives them permission. When you lower your standards, the world follows. Self-respect begins with awareness of the body. How you stand, how you sit, how you move through the space reflects your inner discipline. Slouching suggests defeat. Fidgeting signals uncertainty. Rushed, erratic movements indicate lack of control. A steady posture and deliberate movement communicate self-trust. They say you are grounded, present, and not seeking approval. The body speaks first, long before the mouth does. Speech is another mirror of self-respect. Speaking too quickly, over-explaining, apologizing excessively, or laughing at your own words to soften them are forms of that inner discomfort. You weaken your authority over yourself. Self-respect is not aggression. It is quiet firmness. It is the ability to say no without explanation and to remain calm when others push against your limits. Self-disrespect often hides behind humor, making yourself the joke, minimizing your achievements, or pretending you do not care when you do, are defenses against judgment. But these defenses erode identity. When you belittle yourself, others do not rush to lift you up. Betrayal. They signal that you do not fully stand behind what you say. When your voice lacks firmness, people sense hesitation. Respect grows when words are few but intentional. Silence between sentences carries confidence. You do not need to fill space to justify your presence. Boundaries are where self-respect is tested publicly. Allowing interruptions, tolerating disrespectful jokes, or agreeing to things you resent teaches others that your time and values are negotiable. Each time you ignore, adjust their expectations downward. Confidence is not arrogance. It is alignment between how you see yourself and how you present yourself. Appearance also communicates self-respect. This is not about luxury or perfection, but care. Cleanliness, order, and simplicity show discipline. When you neglect your appearance, you signal indifference toward yourself. People may not comment, but they register it instantly. Respect is instinctual before it is logical. Most importantly, self-respect is convenient, creates a fractured image. In public, inconsistency is noticed quickly. You become unpredictable. When your actions align with your values, regardless of environment, you become reliable. Reliability builds trust. Trust builds respect. When you respect yourself, you do not chase attention. You do not shrink to fit spaces that dishonor you. You occupy space naturally, without apology. This presence is felt, not forced. Others respond to it automatically because humans recognize inner order when they encounter it. Self-respect is a daily practice, reinforced in ordinary moments. Each choice either strengthens or weakens your foundation. The world does not grant you respect first. You demonstrate it repeatedly through how you carry yourself when no validation is offered and no reward is promised. Seeking validation in public is a subtle surrender of power. It often disguises itself as confidence, friendliness, or openness, but beneath it lies dependence. When your sense of worth relies on how others respond to you, your center shifts outward. You are no longer anchored within yourself. Every glance, reaction, and opinion begins to influence your behavior, and over time this dependence reshapes your identity without you noticing. Validation seeking appears in many forms, constantly checking for approval after speaking, adjusting your opinions to match the group, exaggerating stories to gain attention, or measuring your value by reactions rather than truth. These behaviors train the mind to prioritize acceptance over authenticity. The danger is not rejection, it is self-abandonment. Each time you alter yourself to be liked, you move further away from who you actually are. The need for validation creates emotional volatility. Praise lifts you unnaturally high. Silence or indifference drops you sharply. This instability weakens decision-making because choices are no longer based on values but on anticipated reactions. You begin to ask, how will
this make me look?
Instead of, is this right? Public spaces amplify this effect because feedback is immediate and visible. The mind becomes restless, constantly scanning for signals of approval. Strong individuals do not eliminate the desire to be accepted. They outgrow dependence on it. They understand that respect earned through self-alignment lasts longer than approval gained through performance. When you stop chasing validation, your energy changes. You listen more than you speak. You act without announcing. You allow your actions to speak on your behalf. Seeking validation also weakens communication. When you want to be liked, you soften truth. You avoid discomfort. You hesitate to speak honestly or remain silent when silence would be wiser. Over time, people sense this hesitation. They may enjoy your presence, but they do not rely on your word. Reliability requires independence from opinion. There is also a quiet exhaustion that comes with validation seeking. Constant self-monitoring drains mental energy. You become hyper-aware of how you are perceived, replaying interactions, analyzing expressions, and questioning your worth. This inward noise blocks clarity. When you release the need for approval, the mind becomes calm. Calm creates precision. Precision creates strength. Validation seeking makes you predictable. When others know what you crave, they can influence you. Compliments become leverage. Attention becomes currency. Independence breaks this pattern.